African Americans, it's African American enlightenment, meaning that first let's talk about this called intuit knowing, I-N-T-U-I-T, intuit knowing. This is the knowledge you was born with. This is, some people call it genetic memory. This is the knowledge you was born with. This is the knowledge that nature hands you at the time of your birth. This is the knowledge that colonialism is trying to take from you. Understand the game. The game is you are born perfect, but you enter a system that makes you imperfect due to your perception of yourself. Meaning, you're born perfect, but you don't see yourself in any perfected state in any part of your environment. Perfection and beauty and strength and courage is always the image of the one oppressing you. Let's go deep. Words create reality. The more words I see, the more reality I can see. But this is how white racism gets us every time, through words. Words are not reality. Words are symbols of reality. A word, what is a bird? B-I-R-D. What is a bee, first of all? A symbol. What is an eye? That line up. And why do we call it an eye? Why not call it a dot? A B-I-R. What is R? R. Why do I have to say that? R. Bird. D. D. Analyze every piece of sound that comes out of your mouth and you'll break up white racism. That's why I'm telling it to you. This is a technique. Bird. That's not what that thing is. That's what you've been educated to call it. You're not hearing it. Once you can get past English language, you get past English racism. The English language words are creating the reality in which we are seeing. This is why when you speak slang language, it upsets white racism. Flying, something going through the air, I guess, without a pole to hold it up. Flying. Why can't we call that God? Why can't you see something flying through the air and say, oh, somebody say, what is that? That's God. Okay, now so, what is that flying through the air like that? Oh, that's my ancestors. Why do I say this? Because no one knows what's flying through the air. No one knows what that is. But in a culture, you have to give meaning to every material item in your world. You won't see it. So for English, it's called bird. B-I-R-D. So that's what we agree to call that. But that ain't what it is. If you notice, people don't want to say, they don't want to admit it, but you can check the history books on this one. Most of the spiritual teachers of history, Jesus, Buddha, Moses, these people, not Moses, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, they were illiterate. Go back through the history. Jesus couldn't read. Yes. Buddha couldn't read. Krishna couldn't read. They were illiterate. Could not count. These people were not interested in English systems. In fact, their civilization is before it. When you don't know how to read or write, you see God. And let me say it this way. When you can look past the symbols of reality and see reality, you see God. And this is what I want to leave you with. Number one, hip hop is no longer an entertainment pastime. Don't treat it like that anymore. Treat it like as a side investment that you're gonna make of yourself. If you're a dancer, learn how to dance, learn how to break, pop, lock, up rock, spin on your head. People around the world are paying top dollar to see anybody, not a star, not anybody that can do the hip hop elements masterfully will have a lifetime source of employment. You go in the world, present yourself the way you are. And this is my next point about consciousness. When you look in the mirror, how do you feel about yourself? This is hip hop. Listen to what I'm saying here. Value is not based on what you own or what you have. In fact, I'll drop this jewel on you real quick. Real value is based on what you can do without. It's not about what you can accumulate. It's how functionable are you with nothing. And we can't function on nothing, so that becomes the scale. How low can you go? How deep can you go? Because after a while, if you really become a spiritual being, you don't rely on the world for nothing. Nothing. You enter the world, but you are not dependent upon the world. You're dependent upon invisible forces. What are the invisible forces? Love. People can't see love. They're too busy watching hate. It's all about your perception. If you see love, you see love. This woman right here, I choose with my perception to see her as God. This is an ancient African technique. God was never outside of your perception. God was never outside of what you thought. That's why Western man came and said, there is no God, they're just making it up. Right. But God is the greatest human invention in human history. And the reason being, the reason Africans created God is so that humanity in its infinity would never run out of something to rise to. This is why God exists. If you don't have God, you don't rise.